theswirlworld.com, podcast episode 126.
The Swirl World.
Interracial.
Diverse.
Beautiful.
Greetings and welcome to another edition of the Swirl World podcast. This is your co-host, Michelle Matthews-Calloway. We get lots of questions in the inbox and emails from Black women and white men, literally from all over the world. Today's episode is derived from a clip of a Facebook Live I did on the topic of diverse men and Black women, a fetish or a preference. I think you'll find this extremely interesting. Keep listening. We've been talking about dating, mating, and relating 101. And I've been getting some inboxes, and I wanted to share one that I got and talk about something that's an ongoing seemingly issue when it comes to interracial dating and marriage. So this particular inbox came from, I'll call her name Andrea. And she says, every time I bring up the subject of interracial dating, my friends, both men and women, bring up the word fetish. What are your thoughts? So now those of you who are involved in interracial dating or maybe interracially married, I'm sure you probably have encountered this in one form or another. Someone, for whatever reason, wants to bring up the word fetish whenever a discussion of dating and marrying Black women is going on, which is interesting to me because it seems like, and we see this in the digital space, this word doesn't come up in reference to women of other ethnic groups. So why is it when someone is interested or even has a preference for Black women, all of a sudden it's a fetish? Well, I want to put that myth to rest. And I think it's important for us to really know what words mean. A lot of times we ascribe we take certain definitions and we ascribe meanings to them, but we've never bothered to even look the word up. So I looked it up, and let me define a fetish for you. And I also define preference. A fetish, first of all, is an object. It's an object such as a small stone carving of an animal, believed to have magical power or to aid its owner. Think about that rabbit's foot maybe your uncle or even grandfather used to carry around. By definition, that's a fetish because people who carried them believed that it would give them good luck. So they ascribed some kind of magical power to that object. And I want you to keep in mind, object is the operative word. All right. It's also a material object regarded with superstitious or extravagant trust or reverence. An object of irrational reverence or obsessive devotion. And again, notice the word object. Object. Well, guess what? A Black woman is not an object. She's a person. She's a person. So one of the big myths that we want to debunk about fetishes is that, first of all, it's an object. It's not a person. All right. And let me dive a little deeper into that definition and get to the part that everybody, seems to fixate on, and that is the sexual aspect. But guess what? A fetish is an object or bodily part whose real or fantasized presence is psychologically necessary for sexual gratification, and that is an object of fixation to the extent that it may interfere with complete sexual expression. So what does that mean? It means it's an object, this thing that's a fetish, it's an object or a body part that this person has to have in order to experience complete expression. Again, objects, not people. It may be a part, a body part, but it's not the person. For example, someone may have a foot fetish. That's not the Black woman as a person. That's feet. Oh man. So yeah,
There's a big difference between the two. And let me go ahead and define preference, which is what a lot of people have. It's a feeling of liking or wanting one person or thing more than another person or thing. It is something that is liked or wanted more than another thing, something that is preferred. So you can have a preference, but that doesn't make it a fetish. A fetish and a preference are two totally different things. You may have a preference for tall men or tall women or short men or short women. That doesn't mean it's a fetish. It just means that's what you prefer as opposed to the other. See the difference? So I wanted to come on and talk about that. And I appreciate Andrea for sending in that question. And again, when we look at this, it's often in relation, or most often when I see this word, it's in relation to Black women. You can't fetishize a person. The closest you can come is fetishizing a body part. And I want Black women to feel confident and secure and knowing that you are beautiful, you are powerful, you are everything. And when someone has a preference or desire for you, it's for you. Don't let anyone demean that. Don't let anyone sully that. Don't let anyone discourage you concerning that. You walk and own who you are. And that's a person of desire.
Thanks for listening. We have a lot of upcoming episodes that I know you're going to enjoy. Rachel, Adrian, and I are going to be doing an unscripted in our next episode, so stay tuned. See you next week.
Thanks for listening. Make sure to like The Swirl World on Facebook and subscribe to the blog at theswirlworld.com.
Head on over to iTunes and subscribe to the podcast or listen directly from our Facebook page.
We can also be heard on SoundCloud and Stitcher Radio.
The Swirl World.
Interracial.
Diverse.
Beautiful.